Welcome to Lightning Ministries Daily Devotional. My name is Pastor Timothy Kirk. I want to welcome you today to hear what God has to say. Yesterday we talked about believing in Jesus. Today we're talking about trusting Jesus. Reading from John 1, verses 12 through 13. Now, what we were talking about yesterday was remembering to look at the knowledge that was essential into having a right belief. But today I want us to focus on the elements of trusting Jesus. One of them would be you and I need to realize that we have broken God's law. Now, a lot of us may not believe that. A lot of us may believe that, we told a white lie, we stole a piece of candy, we said something we shouldn't have said in the wrong words. But we need to acknowledge that none of our efforts can earn God's favor in our lives. We must agree that Jesus died for the world and he paid it all for our sins. But we also need to believe his death was adequate. I think another word would be sufficient, complete payment for our wrongdoing and nothing else. Not one thing is needed for that task. We must also accept the fact that he paid our penalty and endured punishment on the cross in your place and mine. But once we have been convinced that Jesus is our Savior, in 2 Corinthians it reminds us in 5:17 that trust is demonstrated through an action. What do I mean by that? We are no longer who we were before. Jesus Christ has the authority over your life and mine, and he alone deserves to be our top primary priority. That's why the word says we have to put Jesus first, God first. Jesus even said that, put God first and everything else will fall in its place. Now, God knows, and so does Jesus, what pleases the Father and has sent his Spirit to live in us and to teach us what is the right thing to do. Now, because we're human and we're flesh, we tend to think that it's either our way or the highway. Or maybe if we do it our way, maybe God will honor that. Or maybe if we step out and take control of it, God will bless it. That's not true. We need to take time each and every day to examine ourselves for the evidence of the exact knowledge that God is in control, not us. And we need to convince ourselves to trust him completely, no matter what. Even if things aren't happening the way you want or when you want or how you want, we got to trust him. Now, what I challenge you today is to pray and thank the Father for the true saving faith, or ask God for that gracious gift of salvation. You can read Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 through 9 to follow up with that. But I realize that the only faith that we have that is going to save us is that which we believe in Jesus Christ as our Savior. Anything other than that, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. You're not going to fill that gap. You're not going to fill that hole. You're never going to get a complete satisfaction over living your life the way you want to, expecting God to bless it. Or you think, or maybe you thought, or maybe you said that God told me to do this when you know that's not what he did. Because unless you can prove it through his word, unless you can prove it through an example of how he did something before and how he can do it now, it's not going to happen. I challenge you today to trust Jesus. Excuse me. Trust Jesus. That's why I say trusting Jesus. We have to remind ourselves of that and ask him for his help. Because when his Spirit lives in us, then there's nothing we can't do with him in us, helping us to guide us and lead us where we need to go. Hey, I encourage you today. I thank the Lord that you came to hear what this old man had to say, because God is working through me And maybe not every day I have the right words or I can say things elegantly, even to the fact that I probably need something to drink to clear my throat. But the Lord is going to bless you today. And all you got to do is trust him. Thanks. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I'll get over this eventually. Anyway, excuse my coughing, but thanks for listening and have a blessed day. Look forward to seeing you back tomorrow. Woohoo!